Reacting to a short on YouTube, and it's one of the YouTube shorts, and yeah, it's titled "Why I Have Trust Issues." All right, and now I will.
And this is tech related, people.
So a guy just dropped off his 2013 MacBook Pro, and take a look at this. And the backstory is they took it to a repair shop. The repair shop said they found water damage and that there's no hope for it ever turning on. So I take off the back panel and check this out. The battery is not plugged in, so obviously it's not going to turn on. The keyboard is not plugged in, so it's definitely not going to type. And the trackpad is not plugged in, so you can't move the mouse. By the way, if you watched one of our other videos, it does have water damage because it's a little red right there. So this is my first time actually doing this, but I'm going to plug these in real quick and we're going to see if this works. Battery's plugged in, keyboard's plugged in, trackpad's plugged in. Let's see what happens. And the moment of truth. Boom. There we go. I used to be genuinely shocked when stuff like this came in, but now it's just like, I don't trust any other repair shop for my Apple products. Because this Mac is good to go. It just needed to be plugged in.
All right, so I showed this video last night to Michael. What do you think of it?
I'll just read the text that I sent you immediately. I think that really captured the way I was feeling.
Yeah.
I had a couple drinks last night, so I feel like I was pretty in line with how I was feeling, honestly.
What were you sipping on?
Sipping on? Oh, I was sipping on beers. I was sipping on I don't know. It could have been Budweiser. It could have been Yingling. I don't know. Whoever wants to sponsor us. I mean,
good stuff.
It was decent stuff. Okay, I saw the video and my initial response was, "This looks fake as fuck. If it were this easy to repair, then the first repair shop would have done it immediately." So I think I captured pretty much. This whole video just didn't make any sense to me because he brings in a Mac, but this, for anyone out there, like, this would never happen. I think what he was trying to say, and you talked about this too, is that he was probably trying to say an Apple store, because that's the only thing that would make sense to me. Because I would never, or have never heard of an independent repair shop that's trying to make money turn down what is in this case the easiest repair in the world.
Yeah, and I think like, is he so like short-sighted? Is he so like ridiculous that he thinks that talking trash about all other independent repair shops, but saying, "Oh, this is why you should trust me"? Like, does he really think that that's going to help the repair industry?
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, maybe this guy's like, I don't know if he's new or what. Maybe he has a lot of experience, but it seems like I'm sure the customer wouldn't directly say, "Oh yeah, I took it to Apple." They probably are just like, because here's the thing. Okay. I don't know why. For those of you listening at home, customers get really insecure when they come into us, and for some reason, even if it's something that you don't have to be insecure about, they will. They'll just lie about it. So even if they went to the Apple store, they would just say, "Oh, I took it to some place on the corner of some street somewhere in some block." You know, just being as vague as possible, not just saying the truth.
I know. Customers are weird because we've had so many experiences where they just lie about the most random things, and you'll be like, "Just tell the truth," and like, we'll be able to get further, you know?
Yeah, like they'll come in and they'll be like, "Yeah, my phone doesn't work. I think I spoke too loudly into the microphone," and you're just like, "But the screen's cracked. That's what the problem is." And they're like, "Oh yeah, I don't know how that happened." And it's like, "No, your microphone's fine. You're just making random shit up to." Yeah, it's so weird.
No, and we've had customers say, "It just cracked."
Oh, that's a great one.
Like they're like,
I don't know, it just cracked.
Yeah, they'll be like, "So I put it down next to my bed last night. I woke up this morning. I look at it. It cracked."
That is a very common one. I put it on my bed and I woke up the next morning. Those two things, on my bed, woke up the next morning. I've heard that hundreds of times.
Sir, you know that's not how glass works, right? Like, we didn't put like a special kind of glass that cracks without touching it.
Yeah, like, "Oh yeah, it just cracked on its own." I'm like, "Oh really, huh? Well, that's great. Did you throw it on the floor right before it cracked on its own?"
Mm-hmm. So yeah, our theory for sure is that the customer lied about going to another repair shop. Okay, the way we want to frame it is think about incentive structures. So when it comes to a repair shop, 100% of the incentive is to repair your device, get it fixed, and charge you money for it.
Exactly.
There is zero incentive for repair shop to tell you this is not fixable when it's the easiest fucking repair in the world, and they would be able to make money from you. Okay?
That's exactly right.
The incentive structure on Apple's side is very different, though. You go in, they have 100% incentive to convince you to buy a new laptop versus keeping the old one.
Yeah, because basically all the revenue from an Apple store, if you were a tech there, which you're getting paid from that revenue essentially, is coming from the sales of new devices and accessories. Maybe you make some money as a technician repairing phones. I mean, you know, they do, but the majority is going to come from sales.
Yes, and if this, I don't know who's lying about it, but either the person who made the video is lying or that customer that he spoke to is lying, because I've heard the exact same story. I've had the exact same thing happen to me, but the customer admitted it was the Apple store, which made a lot of sense.
Okay.
So, not with a MacBook, but it was with an iPhone.
Yeah, well, what this guy points out in the video is, well, we see the liquid damage indicator is red, which is not really something that we give a shit about, because if we see, it doesn't matter if it's red, because it can just turn red over time with exposure to air over an extended period, because there's moisture in the air.
Moisture in the air.
You know, I've seen plenty of phones with that indicator tripped that have no liquid damage whatsoever, so that wouldn't really mean anything to us. We would be visually inspecting the motherboard to see if there's any sort of corrosion, liquid intrusion.
Sometimes it's still wet. Like
Sometimes it's still wet. Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
look at it and you'll be like, oh, there's still drops on here.
Oh yeah, I've got some like, oh man, I've opened phones and it's like a whole puddle of water is still in the phone. I'm just thinking, how the fuck is this thing not blowing up on the customer?
And that's the funny story I had from the other day.
Yeah.
The customer came in and said, I have no clue how this phone just stopped working. And I open it up, and it was like a scene out of a movie, like where a guy opens a door and he gets like hit in the face with a wave of water.
Oh.
Like that's what it felt like opening up that phone. You're just like, bro, there's like a pool of water in here.
Yeah, and then I get paranoid. I think like, what kind of water is this? Because I've had customers who are like, yeah, I don't know, I just got it wet, and I'm like, okay, well, what was it, like juice? Was it wine,
God.
water? And they're like, oh, I dropped it in the toilet.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
But yeah, the way he was talking about it with the liquid damage indicator, that's something Apple would look at. So
Yes.
that's why I think it was an Apple store.
Yeah, so the thing that gets me mad about this guy is that why can't he just be honest about it? Because does he understand that he's putting a bad name on all independent repair shops? Like it's not already bad enough
Yeah,
when we get customers coming in and questioning us and not trusting us and expecting us to screw them over when literally our entire incentive is to fix their stuff, not to make it worse.
And to do a good job, because we don't want them coming back. And you know, for those at home, it's basically how best you manage your time here. Because the more time you spend doing work, the less time you spend your time on repeat work, or for what am I trying to say? For like a warranty repair, the better, because you want to do the most work possible, but you want to waste the least amount of time.
I think honestly, if people understood the repair industry, they would see how like it's one of the most fair industries there really is out here, because if we don't fix it, we don't charge you. So 100% of our incentive is to fix your stuff.
Yeah, some places will charge you, fees or whatever, and I get it. Some places are a little shady, but you should be able to tell which ones are shady. You know, if it is like a mom and pop location and it looks shitty inside, okay, yeah, probably is, but not all the time.
Not all the time.
And in this case, I don't know. Maybe the guy
No.
was just trying to look good, so he could be like, "Look, it's easy. I'm honest with you. Trust me." But yeah, I've never heard of a repair shop that would turn down a repair that easy to do.
From what I've seen, the shadiest places have been actually Apple certified places. That's been the places, because I've worked there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, do you mean like those warehouse locations?
No, there's not warehouse locations. It's a place called. Oh, should I air them out on radio? It's this place called Mobile Kangaroo. So this
They have
place,
multiple locations, though, I think.
yeah, stay away from Mobile Kangaroo, because I worked there. I did not participate in their shadiness. That's one of the reasons I left, was because even though they're quote unquote Apple certified, they purposely go out of their way to try and essentially just coerce and steal and snake money out of customers versus just a regular mom and pop repair shop is going to try and just treat you the best they can so they could have repeat business.
Plus, in my experience, it's the stupidest thing in the world to just continuously lie to customers and try to scam them.
Yeah.
Because if they realize that they've been scammed, they're never coming back. They're going to tell people to stay away.
And that's why that place, Mobile Kangaroo, it's so shady because the truth is that they get all their customers directly from Apple. So they have a continuous stream of customers that they source from Apple. So they don't care how they treat people who walk in. They're just going to treat them anyway, try and take as much money as they can out of them, and be horrible.
Yep. I mean,
and this is
I'll
my
take your word
experience.
for it.
Yeah, this is my experience. This is just what I saw, what I experienced. Maybe there's different repair shops that do it differently. Blah blah blah. You know, all the standard spiel.